Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to Team Forbidden's YouTube page again. I am Andrew the Collector, back with a new deck profile for Generators. This deck got new support in the recent Eternity Code booster box, and with the release of the new support, it got so much better. So let's just get right into it. So 3 of the new card is Loptar, the Shadow of the Generaider bosses. He's a level 4 fairy, and during either player's main phase, you contribute 1 Generaider monster, including himself, to special summon a Generaider monster from your deck to your side of the field. And during your opponent's turn, all your Generaider monsters gain 1,000 attack and defense. So he's really good with consistency and for your searching. Next is Hair, the second new support. While he's face up on the field, if your opponent adds a card from their deck to their hand, including by drawing it, you can make them send 1 monster from their field or hand to the graveyard. And I believe that's optional, so you can do it at any point that you choose. And he's a once per turn negator by attributing 2 Generaider monsters. Then 2 Hela. You attribute 1 Generaider monster from your side of the field to special summon 1 from your graveyard. The next is Delusion. I think that's how you pronounce it. You attribute 2 Generaider monsters on your side of the field to banish 1 card on the field. So it's non-destruction removal, which is the best removal for this deck. Then 1 Boss of the Ice. He's pretty much a Solemn Judgment on legs, but only for negating the special summons. And 1 of your Boss of Light. When she's special summoned, you can search any Generaider card from your deck to your graveyard. So if you're missing out on your field spell and you have Loptar, you can normal summon Loptar, tribute him to special summon her, and use her effect to get the field spell into your hand and then activate it. Then next, that's it for the Generaider monsters. These are all you really need because these ones are the best ones. But they have a bunch of other ones that aren't as good, but you can play around with different variants and different ones because they all have different effects. 3 Ash Blossom because she's one of the best hand traps in the game right now. 2 Condemned Witch. She's really interesting in this deck because during your opponent's turn, during their main phase, you contribute her to special summon out any fairy type monster from your deck. Loptar is a fairy, and you can use his effect during either player's main phase. So the trick is that you normal summon her, use her first effect when she's normal summoned to search out a forbidden quick play spell card, which we'll get to in a minute, and then set that card. Then during your opponent's turn, tribute her to get out Loptar, and then go from there. Then the last of our monsters is, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce her name, but she is not considered to be a Generaider monster, but she runs so well with this archetype that she might as well be one.
Trias?
Trias, yeah. Her effect is during is it either player's? Yeah, during either player's main phase, you can tribute up to 3 fairy type monsters that you control. And then special summon her from your hand or graveyard. And then depending on the number of monsters that you tributed, she gains different effects. If you tribute 2, you can pop 1 card on the field. But if you tribute 3, you can draw 2 cards and also pop 1. So she's really good because Loptar counts as 1, but also the tokens that generate off of the field spell. Speaking of which, Generaider Boss Stage. The deck literally centers around this card, and you want to see it as much as possible. The effect is that if your opponent draws or adds a card from their deck to their hand, including during their draw phase, which 99% of the time it will happen, you can special summon a Generaider monster from your deck to your side of the field. And its secondary effect is if a Generaider monster is special summoned during your opponent's turn, you can fill the rest of your zones with tokens. And that's where all the other generator monsters can use their effects, because they can not only tribute other regular generator monsters, including themselves, but also the tokens. And during the end phase, the tokens are destroyed. And each token has to be summoned in attack position, and they each are fairy type, which goes well with Treyas. And they each have 1500 attack. So if you have Lopetar out, they're all 2500. So yeah, you want to see this card as much as possible because it is the heart and soul of your deck, which is why you also run Generator Boss Quest. It's literally a searcher. You just reveal a generator monster in your hand, you shuffle it back, and you add 2 generator spell or trap cards from your deck to your hand. So yeah, you need to run 3 of it. Next, since the deck runs on level 9s, you need World Legacy Monstrosity. It's a quick play and it has 2 effects. The first one is you special summon a level 9 from your hand for free. Pretty standard. The next one is that if you already control a level 9 on your side of the field, you can special summon 2 other level 9 monsters from your deck to your side of the field with different attributes from the one you targeted and from each other. And they can't attack, but they can still have their effects. And they're destroyed at the end phase, but most likely you're going to overlay them for your rank 9s anyway. So yes, it's a mandatory 3 because it helps a lot with your consistency and field presence. And speaking of consistency, Kurjikari Curse. It's literally a pot of greed for the deck. You just activate this, discard a level 9, and then draw 2 cards. Not much else to say. Then 3 Begone Demon Child, because it's Begone Demon Child. And then 3 Forbidden Chalice. This is the card that you search off of your Condemned Witch, because it's probably one of the best of the Forbidden cards right now. It's a quick play. You target a monster on the field that gains 400 attack, but its effects are negated. So if they get Halka Fibrix out, then you target and stop their combos from there. Then 1 Terraforming, because you want to get to your boss stage. The next are the trap cards. 3 of the Generator Boss Fight. This one, it's a trap card that you can activate a generator field spell directly from your deck or graveyard, and then your opponent draws 1 card. So let's say that you have your field spell in your graveyard. You activate this during their main phase. Activate this, they draw 1. Then this card's activation, since they add a card from their deck to their hand off of this card's effect, to special 1 from the deck, and then fill your field with tokens. One thing that I found out that's really interesting is that if you activate this, and then comes their turn during their draw phase, if you attempt to activate this and they Twin Twister from stopping it, you have Boss Fight face down, you can activate Boss Fight to replace this. It loses its target. And then the new field spell, the first effect, since it's technically not once per turn, goes off from there. So it's really good to help moving forward. And then 2 Infinite Impermanence, because extra negation along with the Forbidden Chalices really helps. And that's it for the main deck. Onto the extra deck. Probably the best rank 9 you're going to go into is True King of All Calamities. If this card gets banned on the next upcoming ban list, you can just replace it with other rank 9s in the game, because there are really good ones. The one that I would recommend is the Infinitrack rank 9. I don't have it, otherwise I would run it in the deck. So you can replace it with that, or extra copies of the Phantom Fortress, which you can banish cards once per turn from anywhere, from the hand, field, graveyard, or whatever. And then the Generator rank 9, which is actually really interesting. You can only control 1 of him, and he gains attack equal to the amount of materials that he has. And once per turn during the main phase, you can make your opponent and you draw 1 card, and then both you and your opponent have to attach a card they control or in their hands to this card as material. So yeah, he's really good, interesting removal for your opponent's resources, plus he gains a lot of attack points on top of that. He might be the one you're going to go into least, because these 2 are obviously just better control and disposal. But if you run low on these, he's a really good option to go into. Then going from here, we just have generic link monsters just for different, different encounters. You don't really go into these, but they're here if you need them. And then our super poly targets, just the Shaddoll for Shaddolls, Invoked Endymion, the Guard Dragon, Predaplan, Dragostapelia, Salamangreat, Mud Dragon, Starving Venom, and the Trifvalium. You can fill it up, the extra deck, with whatever you like. I'm just going for the super poly route because I think it's still relevant. Now off to the side deck, 3 Cosmic Cyclone to deal with Eldritch and any other back row, because it's one of the best back row hate cards. 2 DD Crow, probably the second best hand trap, along with Ash Blossom. I mean, right now it's incredibly good. It goes against Block Dragon, Eldritch, and Adamancipator. It's really great. 2 of the Boss of Swords. I didn't opt to main him because, yes, he's good removal, but it's also poor recursion, because you contribute any number of Generaider monsters that you control, and pop cards on your opponent's side of the field equal to the amount that you tributed, but they draw the same amount of cards that were destroyed. So I mean, you could use it on a single card to interrupt their plays, and they only draw 1 card, but I think it's fine in the main to go up against certain decks, but player's choice, I guess. 2 Raw Sphere Mode, because this deck doesn't really worry about its normal summon too much. So if your opponent activates a Unbreakable Board, tribute 3 of their monsters, put them on their side, activate your field spell, and then go from there. And then 2 Nibiru, because it's, oh my gosh, a giant rock, or James. And then 2 Silent Graveyard. This is more so for Eldritch specifically, or Orcust if you want. But I had an interesting tech that I actually want to do. It's for Zaphion the Time Lord. Zaphion is really good against Eldritch, even more than this, because again, you don't rely on your normal summons. But I can't find my copies of Zaphion. If you have Zaphion, I would replace it instead of these. And then 2 Super Poly, because obviously our Super Poly targets. And since it's a token-based deck, we run our sheep tokens. And that is it for the deck. Thank you for tuning in. If you guys have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down below, or any suggestions to help further the deck, also leave them down below. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, click the bell for notification, and we will catch you guys later.